Today we are going to be crocheting these beautiful slippers. You can choose to do any of the designs. I'm going to show you how to do both designs. So this is our first design, and then the other one with the edging, and this third one with just the plain orange. So this is a very beginner friendly tutorial. You just need your yarn, your hook, your scissors, and let's get started. I'm using acrylic yarn. It's a 5-ply yarn and a 5 mm hook, and you get any slippers of your choice. We are going to start by making a slip knot just like this. I'll insert my hook underneath the rope of the slippers, and then I'm going to yarn over, pull through my yarn, and now our yarn is attached. Now I'll go underneath the rope of the slippers. Mind you, I'll be walking over the tail of my yarn because there will be no weaving in of that. So just pull through. Now I have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Repeat the same thing, and we are doing single crochet stitches. So you just pull your yarn through and they pull through both loops. Continue to walk over the tail of your yarn just like this. At this point we are just doing single crochet stitches, no increases. Okay, so you might notice that you might be having some gaps. It's okay to use your hand and push the stitches a little bit how you want it to be, and then keep doing this, and I'll meet you at the center. Now when you reach the center of the slippers, you just continue with a single crochet like this, and then move to the other side, pull your yarn through, the yarn over, and pull through both loops. Then we are going to continue with single crochet stitches as we have been doing for the other side till we reach almost at the end of our hoop. Remember, we do not start at the very end on the other side, so we are going to estimate the same distance on this other side. Just do that and I will meet you at the end. Now that we are at the end, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll turn our work. That will count as our first double crochet. So into the next stitch, make 1 double crochet stitch, into the next stitch, make 1 double crochet, now into the 4th stitch we are going to start our ruffle pattern. So we are making 3 double crochet stitches into the same stitch. So we have 1, into that same stitch we place a 2nd double crochet, into that same stitch we place a 3rd double crochet. Then we move to the next stitch and we place 3 double crochet too. We have 1, 2 into the same stitch, and then 3 into the same stitch. So into every stitch we are going to be placing 3 double crochet stitches till we reach the other end, and I'll show you what to do at the other end. So just go ahead and place your 3 double crochet stitch into every stitch, and I will meet you towards the end on the other side. You know, the same thing we did on this side, we are going to repeat it on the other side. When we reach the last 3 stitches, we are going to be placing 1 double crochet into each stitch and not 3 double crochet stitches. So this is what I'm saying. Now we have reached the other end. Place 1 double crochet into that stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the last stitch. If you place 3 double crochet into every stitch, including these last stitches, then you will have your ruffles hanging at the side and will not be nice. So for the last few stitches, just put a single double crochet into every stitch. Okay, now that we are done with that, we are going to chain 3 and turn, and that is going to count as our first double crochet stitch. So this is how your first row of ruffles will be looking like. Now we yarn over into the next stitch. We are placing a double crochet. Into the third stitch, we are placing a double crochet. Into the fourth stitch, we begin with our ruffle pattern by placing 3 double crochet stitches into the same stitch. So I've placed 2. Let me go in with the third one into the same stitch. We move to the next stitch. I'll place 3 double crochet stitches. That's the second one. And I'll place a third double crochet into the same stitch. So we are going to go into every stitch with 3 double crochet till we reach the other end. When you reach the end, don't forget to work the 3 last stitches with just 1 double crochet stitch, and then we'll cut off our yarn and weave in the end, weave in our end. Now this is how our first design looks like. It's very plain and simple without any other color. But now if you want to spice things up a little bit, then let's go ahead and do an edging or a border, and then this other design will be our last design that we'll be making. So just grab another color of yarn and let's do the edging on these slippers. So I have this dark blue yarn here. I'm just going to make a slip knot. Go into the very first stitch, pull that slip knot through like that, chain 1. I go into the next stitch and place a single crochet stitch while walking over the tail of my yarn. So I place a single crochet into every stitch, and we are going to place single crochet all the way around till we come back to the very last stitch. No increases, just single crochet into every stitch. And we want this to be loose, so don't apply any tension, so that our ruffles will still be perfect just the way it is. So you see me just doing that loosely. I'm not applying any tension. Do that all the way till I'll meet you at the very last stitch. So now we are just going to do our last stitch, chain 1, cut off our yarn, and then we are going to weave in that tail right there. Okay, so now we have our second design. If you want to use another color, I think this looks very pretty, more than just the plain yellow. So let me show you now how to do the third design. You're going to grab a darning needle, you thread a piece of yarn on it, arrange your ruffles the way you want them to be. So this is what we are going to be getting. The design is like this. I'm going to burn those edges with a lighter to make it more smooth. So this is what I'm doing. I arrange my ruffles the way I want them to be. Then I'll be joining them like this. You go into 2 stitches on both ruffles. Estimate the piece of yarn that you need to tie a knot about 4 or 5 times depending on you, and then cut off the excess yarn. They go ahead and just tie. That is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing, just anywhere you deem necessary. You just go in with your hook, with your needle, thread in, estimate the yarn that you need, cut off the rest. And then you tie 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's preferable to do it like this for all the slippers before you come back and start cutting and burning your ends, because I realize that if you tie like this and you cut while you continue to work, when you want to come back, some might have loosened up. So just keep tying. You cut and you leave the tails hanging like that. You're going to burn them later. So you're just going to repeat that for your slippers until you're done, and then you start now with the cutting and burning the edges to keep it from unwinding. Okay, I'm just going to do the rest of camera and then I'll show you the next step. Now is the time to grab your lighter. When you trim your tail like this, you just go ahead and you flame it at once. Then you cut the other side and you flame it too. Remember I said you should cut and flame at the same time, because if you cut all before you come back to start flaming them, some are going to unwind. So you're just going to repeat that, cutting and flaming, and this is what we have. I think this other design with the knots, it looks unique and beautiful. I love it more. So tell me which one you prefer in the comments. I would like to know. This edging too is giving because it kind of gives a beauty to the slippers. Thank you very much for watching and see you in my next video.